who they are is human beings that have had issues go on in their life. You didn't grow up when you were a kid and say, hey, I want to be a homeless guy, or I want to be a drug addict, or I want to be a criminal. No one strived for that when they were 8 years old. Something happened along the way to cause you to go that way. Sometimes we don't want to know, because once we know who they are, we got to do something about it. I'm Matt Armbruster, Executive Director of Ransom Ministries. You ready for your interview? I don't want them on camera, especially this one. I'm just playing. So Ransom Ministries is a job training, life skill training program where we take men and women coming out of prison, addiction, homelessness, and we put them to work, and then at the same time teach them how to be a good employee, a person of character, work through the things that they're working through. And then we offer wraparound services such as case management and mental health counseling as well. We either come through partners such as the Waterfront Rescue Mission.
Well, there's actually two different programs that we're partnered with Ransom, to where we bring guys in and I put them in an evaluation period just to determine their attitude, their work ethic. Of course, we want them to be sober. And if you can follow a basic set of rules, then a lot of times that's the most discerning point. If you've been here 3 days and you've broke 3 rules already, you're probably not going to be a benefit. And then after their evaluation period, they're sent to Ransom.
And they get here, and it's a 90-day program. They start out and they just start working. We pay them $9 an hour. They come in for 30 hours a week, and we take electronics apart. Anything with a cord, we say, except televisions, we take it apart. We separate the precious metals, and we sell those in order to pay them for their cert while they work for us. They also then have in-house case management where they have a case manager that helps them walk and navigate the things that they need. Might be a driver's license, might mean to go to the doctor. We partner with Victory Health as well. Once they get done with the 90 days, they graduate and we transition them into the workforce after being in our 90-day program.
You know, I had somebody ask me one time, they said, in your job, how do you deal with failure? But I'm like, there's never been a failure in this position. I said, because each step that these guys make is a success story. Whether they come through the door, that's a success story. 2 nights, success story. You know, then we build off that, so every one of them is a success.
If all we do is give away free handouts, we give people free things, eventually they expect it and they depend on us. I don't want them dependent on the people, but also make sure they can do it themselves. So I got into it really just wanted to use the gifts God gave me, and it started out with cooking because I was in the restaurant business, and now I just kind of go with the flow and let God kind of lead, you know. There's conversations in our city about what to do with the homeless. You know, they're living in the woods, they're living on property they're not supposed to. So then you had the people that were against it arguing with the people that were advocates, but that was wrong. They shouldn't be living on property that's not theirs. So how can we help them not have to do that? So I started looking at some other organizations that I partner with up in Indianapolis, Indiana, Recycle Force, and they were doing this program where they would take homeless and they would let them pick up litter in the community, and they would get paid to do that. There's a lot of services that the homeless don't qualify for unless they're making some kind of income. So I went to Gina Gregory, the city, and I said, hey, we could do this. Just give us a 2-month trial and we'll try to do it.
We hear ideas from people all the time who think they have the answer to solve some of the city's problems. But when Matt called me, or when Dr. Dent called me on Matt's behalf, I was very impressed. They invited me to come out to their facility to visit with them, to see exactly what it was they were doing, to meet with some of the people on site. And I sat through one of their morning meetings. I had a long conversation with Matt, brought it to the mayor and to Chief of Staff Barber, brought Matt in, we talked about it, and I think the rest is history.
So when I think about what the city's responsibility is for those experiencing homelessness, you know, it's a very complex issue for every city. And so what can you do other than, direct them to the homeless shelters, to get them medical care and all? Well, the one thing that really does help is let them invest in themselves by giving them a job. And so it's difficult for the city to hire them directly. The city decided that we would partner with Ransom, let them work with the homeless population, give them jobs to pick up litter along our rights of way. So from the city's perspective, we're dealing with two things. One is that with the litter, we have homeless people who are picking up, getting paid to pick it up, who hopefully will then be able to take the money that they're earning from steady income, a full-time job, to be able to house themselves and take care of themselves in a manner that they hadn't been able to do thus far. So we give a grant to Ransom Ministries. They take the money the city gives them, Ransom hires them, they employ them.
From the day one, I told them, I said, no one believes you can do this. I mean, if you can see the things on social media that I got, I read them to them. I said, listen, this is what people think. This ain't true about you. I know that ain't true. So, man, they got out there that first day.
We're children of a living God who's full of power. So why should I lower myself? The hurt and pain that I received through life and had me not caring. And who am I?
I am a child of God, first and foremost.
Yes. I'm just a man of God. That's it. I'm a man of God.
The most important thing is I'm a child of God. That's the most important thing. Today, I'm actually a productive member of society, which is a pretty amazing thing. Since I had my past is my past, but I thank God for it though.
I feel elevated because in my mind, I felt that I was way down here, in my mind, and I felt that I wasn't worth anything. But when I met a brother like Matt, it just lifted my spirits, and realizing that God is in control of everything, and it feels really, really good.
It gives me encouragement, to be a part of something, because now my viewpoint has changed. Therefore, I look at this as kingdom, This is a planet for which God gave us and allowed us to abide in.
But being able to walk and clean up God's creation is how I see it. And trying not to go in everybody's yard and pick everybody's paper up because we want to get everything. It's been a real spectacular moment for me, man.
Yeah, we take a lot of pride in our work because what we're doing is we're helping beautify the community.
We have to be thankful for what he has given us.
Matt said he was surprised that everyone in this pilot program stayed on the program. He says lots of times what happens is, people will get a check and you don't ever see them again. The first check and they're gone. Didn't happen this time. All of the employees who started with us in the pilot program stayed on.
And so it's a win-win. It's a win-win for the homeless population, it's a win for the city, and a win for Ransom Ministries.
They love what they do. They do a really good job. We did a whole street that they said would take 2 days. We did it one day, and we only worked half a day because of rain. And so I always use the model of Christ, He sat down with people he wasn't supposed to. If I sit down and eat lunch with you, I'm gonna find out more about you in that lunch than I ever would if we were just passing by on the street corner or down the street.